I'm wonderful.
I know that. I'm gooder than good.
I like that. Look, I'm into it. I think that's fantastic.
Yes, good to see you, Hudson. We're so excited. In fact, I was
I'm
telling Zeke, I'm like, how do we get this figured out to sign him up today?
Well, and I think we have an opportunity to do that, which is really exciting. That's one of the things we'll talk about today.
Okay.
Um, MCA friend, I'd love to see your face if you could. No judgment.
No judgment.
No one likes talking to the little black scare. You're good.
That's
You're good.
right. Well, no, yeah, James Shaw's so funny when I was on Pivot with him. One time we had a person, things happen when you got 1,000 people,
Well,
and
yeah. Oh,
and, and it's great.
I'm already assuming what may have happened.
I'm gonna say like my mom, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
There we had an instance once, I think it was before I was team leader, in our morning mastermind calls at Tampa with one of our lovely agents who's now retired, who lives in a clothing optional neighborhood where we saw a little bit more than we wanted to. Um, all right, let me get into this group text and just let them know. Hi, Jesse, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm gonna light these people up and see if they can't get on here. Here comes somebody. All right. Come on. All right. Well, hello. Long time no see you.
I mean, from the lobby to the
You
door.
could, Amber could probably she could turn her audio off and still hear me because I'm known as the very loud person in the office. Um, awesome. I'm going to trust that there's more people showing up, and we're recording it, so it is what it is. And I want to get started and be respectful of your time. I'm so excited, guys. Like, I'm always excited when I get a new launch. You guys are my peoples though, and so I'm extra excited. I've never zoomed with a bold launch from the same building. Like, this is really cool. So I'm really excited about this. And as I was talking, here comes Cynthia, and as I was talking to Chas about, the cool thing is we have a lot of time between now and launch. And that can either be like a blessing or a blip, right? And I really intend, hey, Cynthia, I really intend to make it a blessing, because what I think, because I already know a little bit about these market centers, obviously, like we didn't have another bold this year. The market is special. And so I think we have an opportunity to sell this thing out and not even really have to rely on first step to bold. And in fact, I really think that's probably where we should start. And yet, I feel like I know a lot, and yet I'm not in leadership, so I don't watch the numbers anymore. So here's what I'd love to know. First of all, tell me how the market centers are doing. I know that our market centers tend to be at the top of the region, which is great, and yet is that great? Like, are our agents all down? Or people like, what is it like in the market centers right now? True, honest five. Are numbers up, numbers down? What are we looking like?
Well, July was awful. I don't know how it was.
Was
Some of
it?
you guys. Yeah, July
Yeah,
was really
it
bad.
was bad.
It was
Yeah,
bad.
I've not seen it this bad in a while.
However, Jesse, I don't know what's going on with you guys this month, but Jennifer shared that we already have surpassed in what we have pending to close this month, what that we did all last month. So August is looking a little better than July. However, and Chaz can speak to this, a lot of our agents, our top 20%, their volume might be there, but their units are down. Right.
Yeah.
ALC, some are tracking, like Julia, she's even, Gloria's down. Like we have some who are, some of our top performers who are, doing the same amount of business, but that's not I would say that's just maybe 5%, to be honest.
Well, I mean, if you look at the multi-year trends, at least for our office, you look at contracts written and listings taken. Our listings taken have been going down month over month all year.
Yeah.
And our contracts written has started to drop the last few months too. And I was looking at the income statement after transmittal, and like we're budgeted like $300,000 more in listing income than we've taken.
Yeah.
Just
Well, and there's a
300.
lot
It's
more
not much.
potential.
Yeah,
Just
it's a scotch of money.
We've noticed, starting in February of this year, our cancellations each month have doubled from what they were previously. And we've had a
Canceled
lot of
listings.
canceled contracts in general, like
Cancel- okay.
listings or buys. Yeah. So I think one of the things is, people have been saying, you know, people are jumping in thinking they have to do this right away, and then they're second guessing their decision and they're backing out. And so we've had a lot of our top agents saying that that's been happening to them. And I've noticed it at both Clearwater and Gulfside.
That's interesting. Okay. Any other thoughts from you, Chaz?
I'm right with the ladies. You know, I'm very optimistic in everything I look at, so you can tell the difference in my conversation with you and Jesse's conversation. Right? Because Jesse's going to tell you the truth with an F, and I'm going to tell you the truth with a TH.
The
Look,
team leader versus the MCA.
That's right. That's called
Right.
balance, right?
Well, and obviously I sit in the Tampa office, not the Clearwater office. I know that, like, when I use the restroom right now before this, I passed the profit share wall and I was like, oh God, is that up to date? Oh, so all with love, by the way, all with love. So I think that you guys know the opportunity is here. I think, and I want to, and kudos to both team leaders here. You guys have been hiring like mad from what I can see, and getting actual real live producers, which I know has been a challenge in the past for this brokerage. And so I know you're getting them. What I don't know is, what does the back door look like? Are you guys doing pretty well? Are we losing a lot of agents? I honestly don't know.
Palm Harbor is doing well. You guys have plus, like your net, you're gaining.
Yeah.
We have had, Hudson, I don't know, a lot of agents, not in particular, not renewing their MLS. We've had, I anticipated this because, during the pandemic, we hired a lot of agents who went back to work at their other job. Yeah. So, and we just don't have a dual career curriculum for those people either. So we brought them in, and yet we weren't able to serve them. So I'm anticipating that we're going to continue to see that, as long as I'm not losing producing agents.
And are you, or has that been pretty well?
It's been pretty good. This is the first, July was the first month that we lost someone in production. Yeah, to LPT.
Okay.
To LPT? Yeah,
Okay.
to LPT.
Yeah.
So, or Real, no, Real, he went to Real because I wanted Ken Pozak to talk to him. Yeah, he went to Real. So I just, and I'd like to know the difference between us and Palm Harbor in that respect. How are you guys why don't you have the same, attrition rate that we do? Like, what is it that you're doing that maybe we're not, or maybe it was just a different hire, through the years. Maybe you just hired an agent who maybe less dual career. I have no idea, but we lost like 16 this month.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
We did lose 1 or 2 last month, but he moved to Orlando. So that wasn't, he didn't, leave because of anything. We've been losing,
you can't control that.
little we've been using like the little like $1,500 company dollar here and there people to some of the cheap shops.
Cheap shops.
But the majority of the ones that we lost last month, we lost 10 last month. 5 out of the 10, it was MLS dues time. They were getting out of real estate. So it was like, there wasn't, the past few months, it's definitely better. Last year we were negative in net every single month. This year we've definitely started seeing it's happening less and less. And I don't really know what the difference is. Like, we're not doing anything different than we were last year. So I don't know if maybe.
Well, I would say that some of the people that also, the other 5 you didn't mention, Jesse, were people that are going to the Ubaldini referral pool. So a lot of the agents that are not able to produce, and we kind of expected it, right? Because the market is down 33%. Yeah. And so we expected to lose some. So what we've done is just tightened as much as we can our care calls. So all of the leaders get on and do care calls with the DTD2 system.
Yeah.
I think that might be helping. Also, we've changed our calendar so that agents can now be engaged and come into whatever classes that they've told us that they want and tried to do that. I've also added a breakthrough coaching from Monica. She told me I should do that for the at-risk and the agents that are, mighty middle. So instead of having 14 meetings, we have our team meeting on the first with the entire office. Then we have our top 20 invitation only. Then we have another team meeting. Then we have the breakthrough invitation only for all those ones that are losing. And they're showing up and they're wanting to know things like track talk. What do I say? What do I do? How do I handle objections? How do I deal with this 3% interest rate? How do I deal with someone saying that they just want to stay and not move? So it seems like they're looking for a system, or they're looking for track talk, they're looking for objection handling, they're looking for the ability to practice and role play in a way that's going to enable them to be better at their skill. And then we have Brian Coward along with Lindsay Rhymes, who's actually lead genning right in the market center. So agents are able to come in and engage. So this could be part of the culture that's, having the ones that we're thinking about leaving stay longer. But the ones that are going to go because they can't afford it is nothing we can do about. We're expecting that.
Yeah, they're going to go.
Yeah, with the 3%, 5%. So if we're at 370, agents or 375, we should be grossing 18. And in terms of loss, 3% of that would be 11. So we should be netting 8. Well, we're not netting 5 yet. So it's still a work in progress.
And
we have
Hudson,
room to grow. That's so exciting. Yes, go ahead.
Hudson, I was just thinking about this, and I think we might have talked about this, that this bold, I anticipate more of our producing agents to attend than the newbies. And I'm okay with that, right? Because the newbies have opportunities, like Chaz said, there's group coaching. We mirror their calendar. Like, we do the same thing, a new agent mastermind and then a top 20. And I really like to get that fat middle that need to produce more and then continue to help our top 20% to take more market share in the anticipated shift that we're all in, right? We're in it. We act like we're not, but we're in it.
Yeah, we've been in it for quite a while. And I appreciate that. So that's part of, I firmly believe, and it's not really a belief, it's based off experience. Like, if we want to make an exceptional bold, which I know you guys want to, we start from the top. Like, when we get your top, and it's not that we won't have newbies in the room or lower producers or barely capper people. Like, it's that when the top producers get involved, everybody else chooses to follow. And what happens is the caliber of conversation is better. Like, I'm good at what I do, I promise. And I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Like, it's better when we have other top producers in there who not only can grow and learn themselves, they also contribute at a high level to the knowledge in the room. And so I am all about that. And that's kind of where I'm gonna, so here's the goal today. I want to give you guys, and I know everybody here has launched bolds before, and I know you know how to do it. And I'm going to share how I would suggest that you do it. I can't make you do anything. Goodness knows I know that. And with love.
Don't talk about me. I'm in the room.
I want to, you're not the only one. I'd like to make this easy for you guys. It would be amazing to me if it were easy for you, because I know that you have a lot going on and I don't want to add to the stress. I want to add to the leverage. That's what I would like to do. So, and hello, Nikki. So first thing I want to do is let you guys know that we are good for Tuesdays. So I know that I wasn't sure. We are good for Tuesdays, so that's already locked in. I've already requested the links to be done. I should have them next week. I told them, I've talked to multiple of you. It sounds like we're going to do Tampa because it holds more people. So that's what they're putting on there. It will be called the Ubaldini Bold. And yet it's going to be here in Tampa. So we're working on getting links already. And here's what I have found to be the simplest way to launch this bold. And caveat is that you're still going to do the other stuff. Like, you're still going to use social media. You're going to put them on an email drip. We're going to put them on an email drip. Like, you're going to do all the stuff still. And you're not going to let that be what you focus on, though. So the best thing we can do, and what I'd love for you to do, if you have time today or next week, like ASAP, because I know they don't happen only but once a month, I'd love to know when your next ALC meeting is, and I'd like to be a part of it. Because if we can get your ALC on board, whether they always realize it or not, people follow them. Okay, awesome. Will you email it to me though? Because you're amazing. I love you. So, and if I can't, and maybe send me your next couple, because I'm going into Bold next week. Send me whatever your next couple ALCs are. I will either make them work, or if it's at a time where I literally can't because I'm on a plane or I'm in a room teaching, then maybe we'll work out a separate meeting. The point is, and I know I already did that ALC workshop, I really would love to see your ALCs completely bought in. It will make a wildly huge difference when we do that. So yeah, so putting that in there, you're amazing, and I appreciate it. If you'll email them to me, so that way I can play with my schedule when I'm not also talking to you. So I want to get in with your ALC, whether it's on the existing meeting or we create something different. And the beautiful thing is, because I'm local, I'm okay to come in person. Again, depending on where I am. So we want to have a great ALC meeting, and I want them on board. And when they're on board, I want to get loud. I want you guys, like, you're taking a picture with all of them. They're holding a registration form. The message is your entire ALC is committed to this Bold. You should be too, because people do pay attention to that. And then I'll want to get in after Mega Camp on one of your team meetings. So I don't want to, we have a lot of time. I don't want to wait too long. And I also realize that you're probably going to want to do a Mega Camp recap right after Mega Camp. And ideally, and I think most of you have done enough Bolds to know, if we really want to get a lot of impact out of that team meeting, it's best if it's pretty much all dedicated to Bold. Like, yeah, your first 10 to 15 minutes of weekly normal stuff. And then we've got a panel. I'll come in and teach them something. Then we'll talk about the actual class, and we really maximize it. We'll talk about that in a leadership call, and I'll give you, I think I've seen you guys do it before. It's great when you have some prizes and vendors can contribute to that. If you sign up in the room, you pop a balloon, stuff like that. So ALC, a great team meeting. Now, I'm happy to get on more than one of your team meetings and take like a little bit of time and do whatever you want me to do or create videos. And yet one dedicated Bold team meeting is really, really helpful. And then the only other thing that really matters, aside from the supporting stuff of like social media and emails, is to take your roster, divide it up, and start with one-on-one calls, which it sounds like you've already been pretty diligent about, in that you're doing care calls, right? Like, here's the way I see it. It's recruiting season hardcore, right? Because 90% of agents are suffering right now. Even if they're still okay, they're making less money than they want to. They're making less money than they're used to. And I really, really believe that it's time for us to have the tough conversations with our people and really find out where they're at. Because the way I see it is that if we're not, as leadership, having those tough conversations and really helping them see the reality, because I think we have a lot of ostriches right now, if I'm being honest, and I think you guys just, right? Somebody from another company is going to have that honest conversation, and they're going to go flock to them. And so we create a roster, we divide it, whoever the team leader is going to take, and I think every seat on the bus should have some ownership of a faction of people on there. And they're reaching out. Let me let somebody in. They are reaching out one by one. These are phone calls, and these are care calls. These are, hey, how is your business? Tell me about your personal world. Like, I know you know this, and this is the reminder that if we just tell them that Bold is coming and you should sign up for Bold, for most of our agents, that's not enough. And if anything, it's a turnoff. It's what's going on in your world. Find the gap, because they've all got one. Your tippity top producer has a gap right now. And it might be that they don't have enough control of their time, or maybe their marriage isn't perfect, or maybe they're not profiting where they need to profit. They've got a gap. And if we can ask them questions and find that gap, then we talk about Bold. Bold is the filler of the gap, not the initiation of the call. And then what I would have you do is you're going to mark people. You've got red light, yellow light, green light. Green light is they're signing up or they've signed up, like you know they did it. Yellow light is it wasn't a yes and you can tell it's not a hard no. And the only people I would ever mark red are the people who say, you know, maybe they're going to be gone for an entire month and it just doesn't make sense. Or maybe they're not into it and they yelled at you and they were like, if you ask me again, I'm going to leave the company. Like that's a red light. Everybody else should be gone back to the next week or 2 weeks later. And if we run it that way, I 100% believe that we will have you sold out before step one. Yes, Miss Amberly.
Now I have a question about that. Just in your position and everybody else's here, we're not doing reimbursements anymore. So
Okay.
traveling wouldn't necessarily hinder them from getting a reimbursement like it would in the past, since we don't have one. So do you think that's still an opportunity to push, even if they say, well, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks? Do you think we should
I don't think it's that. Oh, I think you should still push them. Plus, we have Zoom makeups every week too,
okay?
which we didn't have up until a couple years ago after COVID.
Right.
So I'm saying somebody who's going to be gone, like literally they're going to miss 4 of the 7 classes. Like that's a condition, not an objection, right?
Right. Yeah, I hear
Other
that.
than that, we keep shipping.
Okay.
Yeah. So I find that when we keep it simple and we do that and we use FOMO and everybody that registers gets slapped up on a wall, it works really well. I know that Tampa Properties has a list because Amber showed me because I pass her office every day. I don't know if you guys created a list. Like if you have people that are already interested, the minute those links come out, it should be hand me your credit card, I'll do it for you, and get them signed up. Because if we start with a bang, then we'll just snowball this thing all the way up until the second week of October, and it'll just be an easy breezy bowl where we roll in and we don't have to sell a thing. All we have to do is get people to sit down. And that would be the goal. So what questions do you have for me to make sure that you're armed for success right out the gate?
I have a
So
question
just
about capacity.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Like, what are you thinking, Hudson? Because I think we're going to sell out plus. That's what I anticipate.
I think we will too. How many were in the room when Amber did it last year? Because I mean, it was tight and
130.
nobody died and it fit. Was it 130?
We had 138 registrants
Okay.
for full bold.
So one thing I'll tell you about those numbers is that never ever in 4.5 years of doing this, like if you have 138, there's never 138 in the room. Somebody's sick, somebody's on vacation, somebody chose to go to a closing that day. They're just, it's never full. So I would say, how many people at a table do you tend to put?
And at a bold that size, last year we had 15 teams. I'd have to go back and look at my spreadsheets, but I think we had 15 teams.
So that has like
about,
so you probably had 10 chairs at the table, 9 to 10.
It's about 8 to 10 per table. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, and that's part of, see, here's again, this is how we leverage and make this easier on us. Like, nobody needs to wait to sign up. We've got 130, I mean, if we did 138 before, I guess we just use that number. Like, we have 138 spots, and when they're gone, they're gone. And I mean, how many agents do we have? It's still hovering right about 1,000, right? Like, and we know that if it's about, let's just use 1,000, then we know that 900 of them are probably not on track to make the money they want to make this year. So that's a lot of opportunity for 138 seats. I think what I've seen in the past, not from this group, by the way, like just in other bolds, is sometimes the leadership can come off a little bit desperate. Like, you got to sign up because I got to fill it. And I think that if we give the same amount of push to them and yet reframe it to where like, no, like literally this is going to be a sellout. So if you want a spot, you got to do it now. Don't wait till first step. Don't even wait till September. Like, let's just get it done now. And another thing, and I know you're not doing reimbursement. I'm assuming like if somebody told you early on enough that they wanted to do a payment plan, could they take money off their closings and not have to worry about the stress of the finances? No.
Maybe
We're
so
not
we-
allowed to do that
do that, or
anymore.
you
Jesse,
don't
do
do
you want to
that?
elaborate?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
our
no judgment.
our,
I just, yeah.
Yeah, our accountant, we used to do that, and he advised us, I think at some point last year, not to do that anymore because of the interest and all the other stuff. So we don't have those accounts anymore. But Amber Lee said how she has already been passing around the ones with the credit cards, and we were going to start doing the same thing so that we could say, just go ahead and sign up, get your credit card, we'll run it and sign you up, that way. And we've been telling them about it for probably the last 2 months, I think. So we're telling people, save, save, save. If you don't have the money to just go ahead and do it right now, that way we can get you signed up as soon as we can.
Is
Okay.
there an option maybe from the MCA offices as well? Like when DAs are being created, like that's the care call. Like you make your care call then when you do your DA, and then say we also have Bold coming. I'd be happy to take part of that out of, part of that out and register you right here, and then just issue your commission.
Yeah, we can do that.
Good idea.
Oh, and that's kind of what I meant. Like, what I meant was like, could you take it out of a closing or out of two? Like, I get you could take the full amount. It sounds like not just
Yeah.
partial and hold it, right? Is that okay?
We were
It's
just
still
saying
helpful though.
we can't hold it in an account. Just let it
Yeah.
sit in an account. But yeah.
Okay. So, all right. What other questions do you have to make sure? Because just so you know, here's my goal. I'm gonna leave you alone. Like, I'll let you know when we get the links, and I'm always available for questions. I trust that y'all know that. None of you are strangers to me. And like, we will start like regular weekly leadership calls after Mega Camp. Like, I know you guys have a lot going on, and once those links come out, I would love to see. I don't know when we're going to get them, so no promise. I've told before Mega Camp, if it's before enough, I'd love to see some of those people that already said yes. Like, let's just get them registered and just blow people out of the water. All right. So, what other questions? What do you guys? What can I give you right now to make sure you're armed, ready to go?
So I'm looking for
Scheduling
dates.
wise, October 10th would then be the launch if it's a Tuesday.
Yeah. Is that the
Yes.
date?
Are
10th.
we,
Yes, so it's-
will we have a week off between first step and second step? Since at this time of the year,
Yep.
sometimes they don't around Thanksgiving. So I'm just trying to figure out scheduling.
Nope, you're gonna have a regular skip week like Bold normally has, and then the week of Thanksgiving is a skip week as well.
Okay.
Okay. So we got the
I'll have my
so-
assistant send out all the dates to you guys,
Okay,
and yet you can
okay.
you can figure it out. It's the Tuesdays, one skip week, and then one skip week at Thanksgiving. So we only have the first week of December is our last class. I don't have the day in front of me. It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's going to be the 5th of December.
Yeah.
Yep, December 5th. That's the last day. Okay, cool. So do you have kind of a smart plan or a layout as to dates and times, when to send text messages, when to do the team meeting? Because I'll probably create
So
that
you're gonna
myself.
So my assistant will end up sending you what I didn't name this. She's gonna send you Bob. Bob is an online platform that has everything you need. It ties into Command if you want to create you don't have to create the smart plan, it's there. It's got templates, like if you want to print out a picture of everybody that registers, it's got a template for that. It's got everything you could possibly want in there. And then what I've had my assistant do over the years of learning what works and what doesn't is once a week, like once we're really up and running, not until after Mega Camp, you're going to get like, hey, here's one thing you could do this week. It's like Bob has 1,000 things in it and it can feel really overwhelming. So rather than ask you to do a ton of things, we're going to give you access to everything. And then we'll give you like a nudge every week, like here, you should do this. And then just a reminder as far as like team meetings and stuff. And I know you guys put it in the chat. Send me the dates of like your next 2 ALC meetings, please, to make sure I can make one of them work. And then like, are you both, well, I hear you're bi-weekly. Send me some team meeting dates after Mega Camp.
I sent those both to you already for ALC.
You already did. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. So
yeah.
Chaz, if you guys can send it as well. Are you doing stuff together with Bel Air, or are they having separate team meetings, separate ALC? What are they doing?
Everything's separate. Yep.
Okay, cool. So if you could send me that information as well, because Jesse, you're kind of there's no team leader currently, right?
No, just ATL.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
Oh, there is an
Hudson,
ATL though?
Yes.
Madison.
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 Oh man, okay, cool. I didn't realize. Okay. Yes, Cynthia.
Recruits is there a discounted,
Yes,
I think last year
so
was like 199 or something.
it's
Okay.
$199, and you guys as also it's 10 to the host market center, which technically is Clearwater, even though it's in Tampa. That's just how it's listed. We're all the same brokerage, right? I don't think it matters. And then there's 5 and 5. So you guys as a group will have 20 discount codes. My friends, please use them. Like 80% of people who go to Bold are going to convert to KW, and they do it before Bold is over. And what I'm seeing is that we're seeing 1 or 2 recruits in every class, and it makes me sad. So please use those recruit codes, those people that you've been talking to for a while. Get them in there. And the cool thing is, not that I want to cheat the system, just so you know, if you get a recruit to commit in 2 weeks, right? And it's really early on before Bold starts, and they sign up with Keller Williams before Bold starts, if the registration is processed, they're good. Like they're not going to have to pay extra just because they joined the company. As long as they are not in the white pages, the discount applies. All right. So you guys have 20 of them to use up. Like seriously, please use them. It's a really missed opportunity.
That's 20 for all 3 market centers, right? 3 for 20.
20
okay,
total. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the discount, it's just 1 discount code. That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't really matter who uses them. You have a total of 20. Yeah.
Okay.
So, any other, and then leadership is $399, same as it's been for a while. So, and I'm not here, like, I don't pressure my leadership to take Bold. And I will tell you, it does make a difference when leadership's in the room. Not necessarily every single person, and yet it does make a difference. And so just keep that in mind. And I have started, just so you're not like, what? When I don't do a leadership table, because what I find, I'm sure it would never happen with you guys, as I awkwardly not make eye contact. When I find there's a leadership table, y'all like tap, tap, tap all day long and do other stuff. And so what I started doing,
us, are you?
Or it's an empty table.
I do. No, I put you guys in with agents, and Mary Kenyon's in your, you asked Mary Kenyon if she was happy about that, in case you think that's a bad idea. She came up to me almost in tears at the end of a Bold. It was like her 15th one. She's like, it's the first one I got value out of. Like I paid attention. So I've started doing that. It's helpful.
I got raised hand. So just coming
Okay.
from curiosity.
Yeah.
From curiosity. So when the leadership team sits at a table together, because we're talking about recruits, we're talking about different track talk, we're talking about different ways to code, different ways to put up on the boards on the wall. How will all that look if we're separated?
Well, I don't want you talking unless we're in a breakout, said with love. And that's what tends to happen a lot. And you guys can still mastermind. And as far as here's what I'm telling you. I've seen it both ways, and I see much better experiences, not just for you. It really connects you with your agents when they literally can physically see you doing what they're doing. If you guys are adamantly against it, like I'm not a steel door, like it's okay. I'm telling you, I've seen a big shift when I started mixing you guys in, you as leadership with the agents. So, and we have a lot of time. We don't have to figure that out now, and we can come up with maybe a hybrid situation. It's really produced great results for leaders, and I like that because I feel for you guys. I've been in your shoes. So, but yeah, it doesn't need to be figured out today. So yeah, other than that, I would say you might want, we don't have links yet, and yet start floating it out. You know, maybe those people that you know are ready, let them know, like, I'm going to have a link in the next week or so. So make sure you're ready. And I think you guys know that once we get up and running, if an agent tells you they're ready to sign up, here's one of the bigger misses with, like, we're working so hard and we don't have the numbers, right? With leadership. You know agents well enough. I am still an agent, and I will call myself out. We are flaky. We are busy. We are disorganized. And when they tell you they're ready to go, if they're in front of you, ask for their credit card and register them while they're there. If you're on the phone with them, say, great, you know what? I'm going to pull the website up now, and I'll get you registered, because they're going to, what's my Keller Williams ID? And then they're going to stop doing it. So I will tell you, right, I know it's disruptive to your day. I know it's a lot. I totally get it. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you get them on the spot, it's done. And if you don't, you got a 50-50 shot that they're actually going to follow through. It's wildly annoying. So I would love to see you not be annoyed.
So
So
you figure out.
I know we've
so you
hit
have
our
all the-
time. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have all the
We have all
sponsors
the
figured
stuff.
out? So we don't need to
Oh,
sponsors.
that's you. You.
Do
I
you
don't know
have
who's
one or
doing
because-
that. It's just
Amber?
coaches don't touch sponsors. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Amber's not doing everything all by herself.
No. I didn't mean
So
that. I
there
mean, do we
will-
have a
and I'm sorry,
sponsor?
that came off very jumpy. Sorry, I
Yeah,
was like,
I didn't mean it that way.
I have a whole
PTSD.
system written around this, so I will be asking for some support on this because it is a whole lot to do by yourself. I've coordinated a lot of bolds alone, and there's enough of us that between all of us, we can make sure things are set up, that things are printed, that rooms put together and all that. So I will be asking for help with that and, you know, outsourcing some of that, including sponsors and things like that.
So
So I
let's
guess my
get our
question-
sponsors together now. And we just
who
get our
are the-
dates together.
Well, now that we have dates, fortunately, we can, right?
Well,
So
know
we
Margot
generally.
for- Margot, our.
Oh, I already talked to Margot.
Platinum.
Margot's in Academy,
Okay, so we got
Star,
sponsors.
Podcast Quote. So yeah,
You
I got
you
that
have
covered.
and this is really early to start. Like Amber knows that. You've launched it like this. We have a lot of time, so I wouldn't stress too much. Also, don't leave it till the last minute. I know you won't.
Oh no, they
Um,
will be secured a month in advance.
That's right. Good
Yeah,
job, Amber.
that's
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah.
You sleep at
And
night.
you
You
won't
stay
have
young.
like more than 2 a day, right?
Yeah.
No, because that's gross.
Okay. Good. Guys, I did one
Are you-
in
are you-
Columbus, Ohio earlier this year, and they had 6 one day, and I almost quit. I was like, I gotta go. Like, this is awful. So yes, okay, thank you. Anything else
That
that you
means I
need
have to
from
talk
me
to
now?
6 people. That's not happening.
Yeah, no, that's awful. Anything else that you guys need right now? Okay, so I will get you links the minute I have them. For those of you, I know you all know me. Some of you know me better than others. I'm like level 10 A type. So if I get it, you're going to have it 10 seconds later. So I'll never hold anything back from you guys. Send me the emails. I think some of you already have. Send me emails with dates for meetings and all of that good stuff. And then we'll go from there. And we're going to have an amazing launch. And if you want me to, I know I'm local and yet especially out of KWTP, not everybody knows me. So like, if you want me to talk to anybody at Mega Camp that's going, let me know. Like I will drop what I'm doing and come see them. So, all right. All right, I will talk to you guys soon. I'll send out dates for the leadership calls. Again, don't worry about them for a couple weeks. All right.
Thanks,
Cool.
Hudson.
Thanks, friends.
Hudson.
All right, I'll send
Bye,
out the
everybody.
recording for everybody else.
Have a good Friday.
Bye.
Happy